Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, November 29, 2018. I'm Helen Agasser.
And I'm Kyle Nace. We got some great news lined up for this week's The Connection.
Test.
Fine, over and over.
Hastings held their annual book fair earlier this week. This was an event for students from all ages to come view and potentially purchase new books. Here's more on the story.
Every year, Hastings School holds a book fair during their parent-teacher conferences. This year, the book fair started on November 26th and ran through November 27th. During this time, students got to explore a variety of books brought in by the McNally Robinson bookstore with the option to purchase. Teacher librarian Lisa Ferguson agrees that events like this get kids more engaged in reading.
I think the kids love books. I think they love to read. And I think that every opportunity we give them to have books in their hands is going to help with that.
Students at the book fair were able to buy books for their family and friends, and they could also buy a book to donate to their classroom. Students that we talked to felt an opportunity like this will only enhance their reading skills.
I really like reading books because every time I'm done reading a book, I keep on coming to the library. I want a new book. I love to read to my brothers, and I read lots of books to them. I read 2 books usually, and they really like it when I read because I act it out and make it fun for them.
The book fair is an event that's been going on for years, and students seem to love it. For The Connection, I'm Thomas Sellers.
On November 26th, Glenlawn's choir was at Westwood Collegiate. The group was there to participate in the 2018 Choral Jazz Fest. Choral Jazz Fest is a non-competitive festival held by the Manitoba's Choral Association that provides choirs and conductors an opportunity to work with acclaimed adjudicators. This year, Glenlawn participated in Choral Fest with 2 other schools, Maples Collegiate and Modern Middle School. Rob Monson, Glenlawn's choir conductor, talked about the experience that schools can have in Choral Fest.
The chance to work with the adjudicators in sort of a non-competitive, educational-only venue just gives them that chance to figure a couple other things out. The opportunity to work with some high-level educators that they wouldn't otherwise have the chance to meet with.
Tuesday afternoon, Nelson McIntyre had a special guest speaker talking about the dangers of driving under the influence. The presentation was a part of Manitoba Public Insurance's Friends for Life program, where several speakers traveled to schools and tell their stories. Nolan Barnes was the guest at Nelson Mac and spent an hour talking about his experiences with impaired driving and the decisions he made. Nolan was injured in a car crash while the driver was impaired. This resulted in Nolan being paralyzed. After that experience, Nolan sees the world in a different way and wants to help others see that before they go through something like he had.
People to look at the decisions I made and relate that to their own personal life and how maybe some of the decisions that they're making right now, current day, could have consequences that may affect them positively or negatively. I don't want to tell people what to do. I just think that by giving people the proper information, they can make better decisions going forward.
Thursday, November 22nd, Marian School held their yearly community dinner. Every year, Marian School hosts a community dinner during parent conferences to bring the people within their community together. Students and their parents came to Marian School's gymnasium to enjoy a turkey dinner served by the school's staff. The turkey that was served was made by Layfill Catering, while the stuffing, potatoes, carrots, gravy, and apple crisps were all prepared by the students. Halal chicken was also an option. The apple crisp also came with a choice of vanilla ice cream on top. While the dinner was ongoing in the halls just outside the gymnasium, a couple of students ran a bake sale, which was almost sold out by the end of the night. Principal Alice Young says that holding events such as this dinner is able to bring the unity within their community.
So we find that sometimes it's hard for parents to come in for a parent conference or a student-led conference. They really don't want to. By offering some food and some fellowship, it gets them here. They get to meet their neighbors. They get to talk about stuff that's going on in the community, and then they just enjoy being here.
Now we will throw it over to Jaspi Namura, who is at Dakota with Mr. Scott, to tell us about the Hamper Time event that is happening over there. Jaspi?
I'm here at Dakota Collegiate with Mr. Robbie Scott. Mr. Scott, can you explain to us what this hamper collection is?
Oh boy, what is this hamper collection? Well, we call it here Hamper Time. We always have to say that 3 times. Hamper Time, Hamper Time, Hamper Time. It kind of sounds a lot like Hammer Time. And it's a big project our whole school's been doing for about 15 years. And basically what happens is our school, about 15 years ago, we had an art teacher, Heidi Murray, who realized, there's kids in our own community who have some real needs. And yeah, the holidays are an awesome time for a lot of folks, but for those folks, it's not so awesome, if you don't have the cash to be able to enjoy the holidays like some folks do. So she started putting together hampers, and she had this vision of it being like a project for the whole school. That's what it turned into. Unfortunately, Miss Murray is no longer with us, but her spirit lives on. So every year we put together a bunch of hampers, and that number, it started at 5, 10, 15, 20. Last year, I believe it was 34, 35 hampers. This year, it sounds like it's going to be about 40 hampers going to families in our own school. And they're pretty substantial hampers, right? So the area you're in here, today's the first day of Hamper Time, so it's pretty empty, but in 3 weeks, I think we deliver 3 weeks from Wednesday, so about 17 days of collection. This is going to be packed with food, and then we have this giant military operation where we've got 40 hampers brought out to families, and it's a pretty awesome time around in Lancer Nation.
And what's your goal this year?
Well, like I say, we got to do the 40 hampers, right? So we want to get that part of it done. And I have to say, Winnipeg Cheerboard, the Christmas Cheerboard does great hampers. Our hampers probably end up with more stuff in them, because what we end up doing is, as the hampers are a big part of it, everybody wants to be part of that, but we turn it into this school-wide competition, thus the Hamper Time. So every day, our A-slot announcements, most schools, our school, it's usually 3-4 minutes. Well, for the next 3 weeks, it's 15 or 20 minutes every day, because we have all these competitions where you can win points for your class. The winning classes that bring in the most food items win pizza parties at the end of this whole thing. So there's all that craziness going on. The last day, we do a giant event in the gym. So every year we pick a theme. We've had different themes over the years. One year we had Twister was a theme, so we had 500 people playing Twister at the same time in the gym. Last year we did Jeopardy. We called it Hamperdy. We've done Pokemon Go, which we called Hamper Time Go. So this year we're doing Family Feud, which of course we're calling Family Food. Dakota's Family Food, not to be confused with Dakota Family Foods, which is across the street and actually supports us quite well as well. But anyway, that last day, December 21st, we do a giant event in the gym where we're going to be playing Family Feud. We've surveyed 100 of our students and a bunch of questions. Which teacher in Dakota do you think is the oldest? And then we're going to see who can figure out the #1 answer and win points. And then they win prizes. Look at this. I brought one of them. This is one of the prizes. The world's largest thing of gumballs. And we have multiple prizes like that. All kinds of fun stuff like that. So it's a fun project. And then, you asked about goals. Well, yeah, the hampers are part of it. Having fun is part of it. But the other part is we also collect money for Miracle on Mountain, the free press project for Christmas Cheerboard. So people can bring in money instead. In the last 2 or 3 years, we've collected about $1,500 to $2,000 a year in our school from that. So we got 40 hampers and $2,000 and all this fun. And, so it's the most wonderful / craziest time of the year in Lancer Nation when we become Hamper Nation.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was Mr. Scott talking about the hamper collection. Now I'm throwing it back to you guys at the desk.
We had the opportunity to talk to Eugene Buffo on what his thoughts were about being nominated for CBC Top 40.
Glenlawn alumni is one of CBC Manitoba's Future 40 finalists. Eugene Buffo, also known as Genie in the hip-hop community, is a choreographer, dancer, hip-hop instructor, and directs one of Winnipeg's biggest dance crews. He was nominated for the Arts and Culture category for his work in the dance community, as well as for the documentary he made about the hip-hop community called Our Scene, the Movie. Eugene says that making the Future 40 was a huge honor.
It's an amazing feeling. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know about the Future 40 thing up until this part, right? I woke up one morning and a colleague of mine, Claire Marshall from Dance Manitoba, she's the president of Dance Manitoba, she basically said, congratulations via email, and I was like, thanks. For what? Right? And she sent me the link, and I clicked on the link and to the CBC thing, and there was my picture and my bio, and I'm like, okay, cool, I guess I'm nominated for a thing. So a colleague of mine, Alexa Potashnik, she nominated me. She was one of the Future 40 winners in the previous years, and I guess the panel selected that that all the work that I've done in the community garnered some praise and attention. So I became one of the winners for arts and culture. So it's an amazing feeling and an honor to just get the confidence to continue to do what we're doing, right? And know that there is somebody seeing this and the community does appreciate it. So that just gives me more fire to continue.
Eugene started off learning dance from his sister after seeing her perform. Now he leads one of Winnipeg's biggest dance crews, Boss, built on self-success dance team. He says that taking risks was the reason he was able to make it this far.
You know, when I moved to Winnipeg, going to Glenlawn Collegiate, it was just creating routines for Spirit Week. That was literally it for dance off, right? And then one thing led to another. You get noticed by this person and that person. And the director of some studio goes, "Hey, do you want to teach for me and teach for me?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So it was literally just like one day at a time, one step at a time, and also, you know, taking risks and having my ideas come to life and being like, well, if it fails, it fails, and if it doesn't, it doesn't. And I've been lucky that so far nothing has really failed. So yeah, never thought I would end up here, but I can say the same for probably 5 years from now, right? We're just going to keep working at it, and whatever happens, happens.
Eugene considers himself as an ambassador to hip-hop culture in Winnipeg and continues to play an active role in the community. He says that he wishes to continue to be a role model to the future generation of dancers.
As hip-hop dancers, one of our taglines is hip-hop saved our lives, right? It's literally the reason I'm here, I'm still here. It's the reason I'm sitting in this building right now, right? Like, at first you think, you just like a couple dance moves here and there, and next thing you know, you're, on global TV, you're being interviewed by a broadcasting school, right? Like, and all of a sudden, like, you're being noticed by different people because you're passionate about what you do, right? So what it means to me is, at the end of the day, like I love to dance, I love to express myself, but it's what I can do for somebody else, right? It's what I can do for the next generation. It's what I can do for the 10-year-old kid who's in the audience now thinking he wants to dance and now seeing me maybe, or seeing one of my teammates and then saying, yeah, I can do this, right? So as much as I love to do what I do, it's more about inspiring the next generation to continue this culture going forward, especially in Winnipeg.
On Wednesday night, a launch called the Legacy Project took place at the Manitoba Legislative Building. Our reporter, Mackenzie Thompson, went to the event last night and was able to catch up on what happened.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Thompson here at the Manitoba Legislative Building for the Legacy Project launch. The launch was put on to showcase the videos of former MLA and MP members that have been created together by Leslie Hughes and students from the broadcast media program. Leslie Hughes speaks out about the experiences she had while working together with the students to create the videos.
Oh, so many things. The persistence, with the creativity, with the fresh eyes and fresh ears, the willingness to persevere, to make it not just okay, but the best that it could be, right? These are the marks of, I think, very good journalists in the future.
During the launch, guests who attended were provided with yummy snacks and drinks to help enjoy the highlight reel. There were a few guest speakers, including one of our own broadcast media students, Liam Elson, who says that the students put a lot of effort and time into the project.
A lot of people put in hours upon hours. They were digging for all this B-roll footage. It was a lot of work, and we put a lot of time into it. But definitely, it's all the effort. It pays off, and it looks great, and it's a project that we're all proud of.
Some of the many goals of the launch is to show a different side of the former MLA and MP members and to share their stories with the younger generation who may have an interest in public service. Marna Phillips, the speaker for the Legacy Project, explains more about their objective.
The reason we decided to do it was there is so much history that the former members of the legislature have to offer and to share. And once they're out of the political arena, they don't really have an opportunity to have those stories told. So both from a historical perspective, but also from the perspective of sharing their stories with young people who might be interested in public service, that we thought this would be a really good vehicle to capture both of those objectives.
Once again, I'm Mackenzie Thompson here for The Connection.
Now, we'll be giving it over to our sports anchor, Liam Elson. Liam?
Thanks, guys. Well, it's provincial season, and the Dakota Lancers are in the Junior Varsity Championship this past Monday, taking on the Lord Selkirk Royals. LRSD TV Sports was at Investors Group Athletic Center to capture the action. The first set was a very close battle, both teams trading points. but it was Dakota that started to pull away after this block. They followed that up later with a spike that was knocked out of bounds by the Royals' front line. The set would end with Dakota winning off of a Royals hit that was just a bit too powerful and flew out of bounds. Dakota up 1-0. The second set started off with a huge Lord Selkirk spike, giving them some momentum to start. But Dakota kept the set close, as no team could gain a 2-point lead till the Royals went up 12-10 off of a long Dakota hit. The set would finish how it started with another great spike from the Lord Selkirk Royals to tie the match 1-1. The third set was once again a back-and-forth battle. However, the Royals had gotten off to an early start. This Dakota hit helped them pull themselves back into the game and eventually take the lead. They would finish off the set with another spike, giving them a 2-1 lead going into the fourth set. Dakota would start off the set well by taking a bit of a lead, but the Royals were not far behind and would come back to tie it later on. As the set came to a close, Dakota had the lead.
Congratulations to the Dakota Lancers on winning the Manitoba High School Athletic Association McDonald's Junior Varsity 4A provincial title. Congratulations all.
The Dakota Lancers are your 2018 Junior Varsity Provincial Champions. I would also like to congratulate the Oak Park Raiders JV team on winning the Girls JV Provincial Championship. LRSDTV Sports are also covering the 2018 MHSAA Boston Pizza Quad A Varsity Volleyball Provincials, and we started our coverage last night with the girls' semifinals. The College Jean-Sauvé Olympians won a very close battle against the Mennonite Brethren Hawks. The game went to full 5 sets, with the Olympians winning the final set 15-12. The second game of the evening had the Lord Selkirk Royals defeating the Portage Saints in straight sets to send them to the finals. The Jean-Sauvé Olympians will face off against the Lord Selkirk Royals on Monday at 6 p.m. before the boys' championship at 8. As for the boys' semifinals, both games will be on LRSD TV tonight starting at 6 p.m. with the Dakota Lancers taking on the Steinbach Regional Sabres in an SEAC championship rematch. The second game will be at 8 p.m. with the St. Paul's Crusaders facing the Lord Selkirk Royals. And that's all for sports. I will throw it back over to Halen and Kyle. Guys?
Thanks, Liam. Don't forget that ATC will be hosting its first winter market this Saturday at 10 a.m. here at Arts and Technology Center. Make sure to come out and check it out.
Let's not forget that we'll be broadcasting the MHSAA Boston Pizza 4A Varsity Volleyball Championships. Look forward to watching our live stream on LRSD.TV.
And that's all we have for this week's newscast. Be sure to check it out on social media and visit our website at LRSD.TV to keep up to date on our future events.
Thank you for tuning in on The Connection today. We'll be back with more news next week.